Hi, Holly. You're quick. You're quick. Yeah, I guess so, because you were here so quick. Hi, Peggy. Okay. Teresa, hello. Welcome, welcome, ladies. I didn't want to come on too early because, then I start singing. Hi, Kathy. Once I get rolling, I'm okay, but this part is a little nerve-wracking. Waiting for people to pop in. Renee. Thank you. I'm a little low. I just took a batch into the co-op, so I was digging through my remains. Get Charlie around here. Just have a few to show you, really. Hi, Arlene. That's a pretty fast bus from Hawaii to New Jersey, huh? Oh, thank you, Renee. The wheels on the bus. See, I got to start singing something. Go round and round. Well, it's been a fun-filled day. Hi, Mina. Thanks for popping over. I have to go back and watch some of the videos. I know, right? Great idea. We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas. Yes, ma'am. I cannot believe really that it's November and it's almost Thanksgiving. Deborah Brown, hello. Thanks for popping over. Well, I know we're supposed to have a 5-minute break, but I'm not sure that we do. Hey, Miss Laura. Laura, you gave me an idea, so I'm going to springboard off of that. Hi, Candy. All right, ladies, I'm going to get started. Hi, Violet. Hi, Beth. AP Jamie, welcome, welcome. Miss Lala, hello. Good evening. Thanks for popping over. Sharon, Gail, my goodness. Quite a large bus. All right, ladies, I have been in the crafting world. Hey, Debbie, for a little bit. And a lot of my crafting career I did. Hi, Allie K. Jane, oh my gosh, we're all flying in now. I did a variety of things. It started out really with ceramics, but the last couple of years, once my husband and I moved over here to Jersey, I had an opportunity to be part of a co-op in Mount Laurel, New Jersey, and through that, I began painting on light bulbs. A gal there used to do that. She moved out of the area, and so I was asked to do that. Hey, Joyce. And so these are some of my little light bulbs. Folks seem to like them. I think a lot of times because they're just unique, because they're on a light bulb, and so it's a little different. See, like this guy, you can see the top of the bulb, and so some people do ask if if you screw that in, will it work? But when I can, I use light bulbs that are no longer any good, and but we have had to buy some. So I've got Charlie Brown. I've done a variety of things over the last 2 years. Last year I did 6 craft fairs in my area. This is Peppermint Patty. Of course, all my version. And we have Lucy. I've done Linus. I don't have any Snoopy. I did have Woodstock. And then I tried some of the superhero things. Batman. And of course, I'm a Harry Potter fan, so I have some Harry Potter things. This is one of my favorites, Platform 9 3/4. But my most popular are the Grinch, which I don't have any of right this second, and my Snow People. So this is a floppy hat Snow People. And then last year I added my ladies. So this is one of my ladies, and I've been writing some things on their cheeks. I have another lady here, but she kind of she had a run-in with one of my paintbrushes, so she's kind of got a little bit of a beard going on. So this is my current semi-passion. Of course, this year I'm not doing any actual craft fairs, but I am in a co-op. I do have an Etsy store, Etsy shop. And so I just got connected with a garden center who has a Christmas setup, and they have a Grinch greenhouse. So, there's still some opportunities for me in this area for some of my crafting outlet. And so what we have found, my husband and I, is that if you paint the bulb, you want to make sure your bulb is clean and then dry. And if you hand paint the bulb, you might get some streaking. And if you go to do a second coat, you may pull your paint off. I use acrylic paint, just the craft store acrylic paint. And so what we do, because we do so many, he spray paints them for me first. And then sometimes I need to add a second coat depending on the weather and a variety of things like that. But if you don't have the ability to spray paint and you'd like to try this, I would recommend that you put your first coat on and let it dry for a good 5 to 6 hours. And then you can generally get your second coat or maybe a third coat on without pulling your original base coat paint off. You really want to let that first coat dry. When you spray them, usually they're good to go in a couple of hours. So I'm just going to do a snowman from start to finish. So this guy's been sprayed. I did put an extra coat on. And then when Laura was talking about the unicorn, I might try to put together a quick unicorn. My granddaughter loves them, and I knew I wanted to try to make her one for Christmas, so I may try to do that. And I have started a couple of what I call my gnome Santas. So we'll just see how we do on time, see what we get to. So for me, the first thing I like to do is their nose, because I don't do often a carrot nose. The button nose seems to be more popular. So I've just put some colors out here on my little paint dish, and I'm using a tomato red, and it's naked. So I don't know what brand that is, but probably ceramic coat, I would think. So I'm using tomato spice. I apologize. So I like to put my pinky finger down on the bulb, so my hand doesn't shake, because, I'm getting older. And I just kind of make an ovalish. Now, I do have a little bit of a streak here on this guy's face, but you know what? We're just going to go with it. I have my glue gun plugged in. I have my socks at the ready. And for anyone that has ever done any kind of painting with acrylic paint, you know that red is a bit fiddly. And when Lucia said fiddly this morning, I almost fell off my chair, because I have never heard anybody except my British bonus son say fiddly. When she said that, it cracked me up. Now, I don't worry about the whites of the eye. I just pick eye color and decide what I want to do. Sometimes I do them lavender, blues, browns, whatever. And so I just start with a teardrop shape, really. And I kind of try to make them as even as I can. Sometimes they end up a little bigger than other times. And I generally do a couple of coats, depending on how I like it to look. I like it to look pretty solid or pretty and solid. Now my room is very cool. I did turn my heat up, but my paint's having a little bit of trouble drying tonight. It's very cold and damp and rainy here in Jersey. So now what I'm going to show you here, while I'm let those eyes dry a little bit, I started what I'm going to put the unicorn together. And so for this bulb, I wrap my ribbon around for some of the bulbs like this. Now, when I do the snowman, he's going to have a sock hat. So I put the little hang ribbon on a little differently. But these types of bulbs that have the top or exposed, I generally wrap the ribbon around this way. And I don't know if anybody is really interested in actually doing this as a craft, but I'll tell you what, they are really nice gifts for teachers, postal workers, you know, any of those kinds of folks. You're actually, we took a couple of these. My friend and I took these to our nail salon girls, and they've been selling them for me ever since. I mean, the ladies just love them. So a nice way to put the ribbon on that I have found, because one of the other gals that used to do these, she kind of used clay and clunked stuff on there. I just put a little bit of hot glue here. And then I put down my ribbon, and then I just make a loop on the other side. Now, this guy's going to have a sock hat, so I'm not going to put this ribbon on him. And then I just put a little more glue here. So then you end up with it looking like this. And then once that hot glue is there, I'll just hold it this way. I wrap my ribbon around a couple of times, cover up a lot of those threads. Of course, I do it very neatly, girls, okay? And then I just put another little spot of glue, and you end up with really a nice, attractive way to have your ribbon attached to your bulb. So for this little gal here, it's going to be a unicorn. I'm just going to use some of my black paint and just give her some eyelashes while I'm waiting for those other eyes to dry a little bit. I'm going to use my liner brush. I really like a 10/0 generally. And I'm going to thin down my paint just a little bit so it's more like an inky consistency. Milk is too loose. Water is much too loose. But just out of the container is too thick. And I like to always put my nose in first because it kind of helps me place my eyes. So I'm just going to use a little stylus here and make sure I'm going to put just a little dot, 2 little dots for my, I'll see that one got a little, I don't know why, a little, must have had a little drip of water in my black paint container. So I'm just gently going to rub that off with a little bit of water and see if I can get a better little nose holes there. And then I'm going to try to do her eyelashes and not get my finger in that nose. So I'm just going to load up my liner, and I'm just going to make 2 little half circles. Sometimes I have to just turn it and go this way. Okay, not too bad. And then I'm just going to give her a few little lashes here. Now I did give her pink ribbon for the hanger to hang on the tree, and I did that because my granddaughter, well, she actually likes yellow these days, but she also likes pink and blue. So I'm making this for my Charlotte. And most of the unicorns that I've looked at, they don't really have a mouth part. So I'm not going to do a mouth. And now I'm going to let that dry. I hope this isn't confusing, as I have a couple of different ones going here at the same time. So now I'm going to come back to my eye color. And just give myself a second coat. Now, you don't necessarily have to do what I do, but I like to add a darker blue, or if I'm doing a purple eye, a darker purple around the edge. And I'm hoping no one has a question for me, because I'm really just kind of on autopilot here and not really paying attention to chat so much. So I'm going to float some color around the edge once that next coat dries. And I'm also going to put a little bit of cheek color on my snow people. I always do that. So I have a little bit of coral blush out, and I'm going to use a mop brush. And I'm going to use a dry brushing type of technique. Not type, it is a dry brushing technique. This brush is dry, and I'm just going to put a little bit of color on the cheeks. Now you can also float color on their cheeks and kind of do like a half moon kind of a look. Just depends on what you might like. So I'm just going to tip that in my coral blush. I'm going to rub most of it off. So if you do this technique, you'll want to remember, and I hope I do this well, you can always add. You can't really take it off. I mean, you could repaint your bulb, but when you're working with a white base, that's not always easy to come back and do that. And the reason I like to do this is because it gives a real, oh, let me put my thumb here, see if I can get it to focus. Just a real soft blush. Now, snowmen are cold. So if you want their cheeks a little rosy, or you just add a little more color in another layer. See, now this side's a little darker. This is really not, and that eye's not dry, and I just got a little bit in there. So this is ending up being a total mess. Okay. So we're going to give this little guy a little more of a rosy cheek. It's amazing to me how much trouble I'm having with my paint drying today. All right. I'm going to have to use my heat gun, I think. Let's leave that sit for a moment. And we'll go back to our unicorn. Now I have my pieces here ready for my unicorn. So I struggle with what to do for a horn, and I don't really want to get into the whole clay thing. I'm just not sure that would be for me. So I just took a couple of pipe cleaners, some little gold sparkly pipe cleaners, and made a horn. Probably a little too long, but I'm going to go with it. And I have red, green, and white pom-poms that I'm going to use. And then I just took some sparkly Christmas ribbons that I have. And so, like I said, I have my hot glue gun ready to go. And I think for her, I just want to add these ribbons here, kind of on the side. Now, a lot of times at my craft fairs, folks would want their name or the year, a name of the child or recipient of the bulb. So you can always do that too. You just want to make sure it's permanent. Now I always seal these when I'm finished with a brush on sealer, because I don't know why, whether it's just the area that we now live in, but our spray on sealer a lot of times will cause my paint to crack and craze. So I've been using a brush on sealer. Now, one of the gentlemen at the co-op, he said you really need to have a hair dryer handy when you spray on that finishing coat. But we didn't have that problem when we lived in Pennsylvania. So I just don't know. Now, we're considered South Jersey, but we're still an hour or two from the shore points. So it's not like it's warm here. I'm just going to trim those down. And then I think what I want to do is I think I'm going to put the white pom-pom right in the middle of her little face, her little forehead right there. And then I'm going to put the red and the green on either side. Kind of cover up those knots. I just knotted that ribbon so that I had a nice way to anchor that onto my bulb. And then I'm just going to take my horn and I'm going to nestle that kind of that way, I think. Now, I haven't done this before, girls. I did a unicorn, I guess 2 years ago, and I was trying to remember what I did for the horn, and I can't even remember. I had an order from a grandmom who was at the school where my sister taught, and she wanted a favorite animal for each of her. I think she had 13 or 14 grandchildren. So I did a dragon, a unicorn, bears, rabbits, squirrel. So that's going to be my unicorn. All right. So we'll just sit her here. Now, like I say, I have to do a sealer on her. And so my eyes are dry. So I'm going to take a small angled brush, and I've got a little deeper shade of turquoise here. And I'm just going to float some of this color around the edge of my, I keep forgetting to come up towards the camera so you can see what I'm doing. I just like to float a little color around that eye. The teardrop shape is really easy to do. And then I'll just come in with some black. And I just want to look at my time because I'd like to get this guy finished. I'll just hit that a little bit. So then I'll just come back in with my black. And I make a pupil, which is really just a smaller teardrop shape. And you can see that these eyes are not perfect. But they don't really have to be. Our eyes are not perfect or the same size. All right, then I'm going to come back in with my liner brush. And then I'll do a little highlight on the nose It just depends. Sometimes I don't do the rosy cheek, but I do most of the time. And then I'm going to reload my liner brush. And I'm going to just come around the edge of my eye and outline it. Sometimes I do eyelashes and sometimes I don't. I can see that I think my liner brush is starting to wear out a little bit. And then I usually, if I don't do any lashes on the top, I usually at least come around the bottom of the eye and bring out little eyelashes. Like that. And then, of course, I always add a highlight. Sometimes I do dots. Sometimes I might do a star. Again, when you paint, you're painting a couple hundred of these. You do things to keep yourself from going a little crazy. This paint's really kind of thick to be adding an eye. All right, so I think I'm just going to put a little highlight this time across the nose. And then I need a little bit of a mouth. So again, I come in with my liner brush. And if that paint, you really don't want that paint too thin because it will make up just a big puddled line across your piece. And I usually just do a little smile like that. So then what I do is getting closer to this time of year. I'm in the market for socks. So I've got a couple of spots around town where I go and I check for socks, and I get all different kinds of socks. So I think I'm going to use this pink one. And I usually a sock this size, which is like a normal person's sock, not a kid's sock. Thanks, Chris. And I just kind of cut it right above the heel. And now this is the part that it's hard for me to do with people watching because I generally clutch this to my chest so that I can hold the sock on the bulb and get my glue in there. So, and what I do is I just scoot that on and get it the way I like, and then I just pick up the sock, add a little dot of glue, a dot on this side, on the other side, and then at the bottom. And then I'll use the other half of this. I just take the heel off and I just use the other end. But then once I get it here, I just kind of lift that off of the part that you screw into the unit because they kind of stick. And then I just take some ribbon or twine, or I have some of this cording. What did I pull out for this? Let's go ahead and do the silver. So I'll just take a little piece of this. And I have jingle bells and all kinds of snowflakes and different little things that I pick up throughout the year that I know will work on my socks and my little snow people. But if you don't have that, you really can use some of your stamps and just cut out a little piece of cardstock. I would ink that, and you attach that to a hat or put it on a pin or stitch it on. They look adorable. So then all I do is just fuss around with this a little bit. And once I find a spot that I like, I just hold it with my finger and add a little glue. Now, like I said, I will come back and I'll brush coat a sealer on her. And then I usually will make some kind of a bow. I like a double bow or triple. So I just do a quick little bow. The hard part is after I get it tied, getting it off my finger. And how am I doing on time? Oh, I'm getting close. I'm getting close. Oh, it came off my finger. Let's redo. Rewind. I put jingle bells on. I have snowflakes, candy canes, whatever I can find. I'm like a big fan of clearance, so I'm always checking clearance. And a lot of times, like at Valentine's Day, when their stuff goes on clearance, like their ribbons and stuff, that red I can use for Christmas. So I go and I stock up on some things. Of course, I'll usually cut that a little nicer. Let's see. Let's see what we have here. I'm going to give her a little, I love these little sparkly, what the heck are they called, girls? Holly leaves. All right. And then I always keep a big darning needle right here. And I thread my ribbon or this cording, whatever I decide that I'm going to use. And I just pull it through the top of the sock. Get it to the length that I want. Give it a cut. And make myself a knot. So there you have it. We've got one little snow person, and we've got a unicorn. In 30 minutes. So there you have it, kids. And silly me, I thought we might get to a Santa Claus too. So thanks for joining me. Thanks for being part of the hop. And we are so thankful for Mary putting this all together. It's been a great day, and I personally am looking forward to relaxing and seeing what Murray has to show us. She's next up on the hop, so get on the bus, girls, and head on over to Mary's. We'll see you there. Thanks for joining me. Have a good rest of the evening. I'll see you in chat. I'll just hang here for a little bit till everybody gets over. Oh, thank you, Chris. Thanks, Laura. All right, good night, Jamie. Oh, I'd like to see that, Debbie. That sounds fun. Oh, you're welcome, Elizabeth. Hey, hi, Stephanie. Thanks for popping in. That's a nice surprise. Oh no, Sharon. Thanks, Murray. I'll see you over at your place. Oh my. Well, you can come relax at Murray's, Sharon. Get coffee. I just got mine. All right, ladies. We'll see you over at Murray's. You know what, Holly? Okay. Signing off. You're welcome, Teresa. Oh, I'm glad. Thank you.